Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are diving deep into the iPhone 16 series, comparing the iPhone 16e with its elder, slightly more premium sibling, the iPhone 16. And the main aim of this video is to try and find out what are the key differences between these two phones and which one of these two should you be getting. I feel like all of the comparison videos should start with the price, as it helps us set the expectations right and be a better judge of the products being compared. iPhone 16 officially starts at 79,900 rupees for the 128GB storage variant and goes all the way up to 1,09,900 rupees for the 512GB storage variant. I said officially because that's the MRP set by Apple, but very often you can find it at prices closer to 68 or 66,000 rupees at various online and offline retailers. The new iPhone 16e on the other hand has an official price tag of 59,900 rupees for the base 128GB storage variant, and its prices go all the way up to 89,900 for the 512GB option. That being said, you can already get it for as low as 56,000 rupees including bank offers at various online and offline retailers. So if we consider their official launch prices, there is a 20,000 rupees difference between both these phones. But if you look at their current realistic selling prices with all of the discount offers, the price difference between both these phones comes down to 10 or 12,000 rupees, which doesn't sound much if you're already paying 50,000 rupees for a smartphone. But I also understand that we live in a price sensitive market and a difference of even 2 to 3,000 rupees can be a deciding factor for many. So what more does the 16 offer for its higher price tag, or what does the iPhone 16e give up on for its lower price tag? Let's find out. Starting with the design. Right from the moment you look at them, you can tell that these are two very different phones. When you look at them from the front, the iPhone 16e retains the notch, while the iPhone 16 features a dynamic island. I don't mind either of the two, but the dynamic island with all of the animations and added functionalities definitely looks more modern. When you turn them around, you will see that the iPhone 16 gets two cameras on the back, while the iPhone 16e just gets one camera, which I must admit makes it look cleaner and minimalistic. Both of them get matte finish glass back and flat aluminum sides, but the iPhone 16 gets slightly rounded edges to the frame at the front and back, making it feel a bit softer and help it fit better in the hand. 16e on the other hand gets square edges like we got on the iPhone 12, 13 and 14. I have never had an issue with the sharper frame, so I don't mind this one on the iPhone 16e. And the last design difference is the camera control button on the iPhone 16, which is absent on the iPhone 16e. Frankly, we should take this as a plus point for the iPhone 16e, because there is a consensus amongst everyone that the camera control button on the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro is pretty much useless. Rest of the buttons and ports like the volume buttons, action button, SIM tray, power or sleep wake button, USB Type-C port and the speakers are at the exact same position on both these phones. The 16e is also a couple of grams lighter, but even holding them side by side, I could barely tell a difference. Coming to the displays, both the models boast 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED displays delivering vibrant colors, wide viewing angles and deeper blacks. However, iPhone 16 offers slightly brighter display with the peak brightness levels reaching 2000 nits for outdoor conditions as opposed to 800 nits on the iPhone 16e. And as mentioned before, 16 also gets a dynamic island which looks more modern and enhances the interactions with notifications on the phone. It also gets the latest generation of the ceramic shield protection for the display, whereas the 16e gets the previous generation of the ceramic shield for its display. Now I have not tested it myself, but according to Apple, the ceramic shield on the iPhone 16 is 50% tougher than the one on this iPhone 16e. Under the hood, both phones pack in the powerful A18 chip and 8GB of RAM ensuring smooth performance. However, the standard 16 might have a slight advantage in sustained performance and graphics intensive tasks, thanks to its 5-core GPU as opposed to the 4-core one on the 16e. Both are built for ample intelligence whenever that arrives in markets like India. Thanks to these internals, both of them seem very smooth and fluid no matter what you throw at them. Although A18 on the 16e is a built chip, trust me, you don't feel it being slow at any of the everyday apps or tasks that you might want it to perform. 16 uses the Qualcomm's latest modem like most of the other iPhones from before it, but the 16e sports the new C1 Apple modem. This is the first time Apple has done something like this, and I don't see any difference between the cellular or Wi-Fi performance of both these phones, which means the new in-house modem is working as intended. There is a slight possibility that we might see it in all of the iPhones going forward. One thing that Apple mentioned about this modem is that it is extremely efficient, so that should help us get better battery backup out of this iPhone 16e. Speaking of the battery, since the 16e doesn't pack in a second camera and few other internal components, Apple was able to squeeze in a 3961 mAh battery inside, which is considerably larger than the 3561 mAh battery inside the iPhone 16, and this is actually the largest battery that Apple has put in any 6.1-inch iPhone. What this means is, we get a few extra hours of battery backup on this iPhone 16e compared to the regular iPhone 16, which is amazing considering the regular iPhone 16 had the best battery backup out of any of the 6.1-inch iPhones before this one came out. So if you want a phone that lasts the longest between these two, 16e is the one for you. When it comes to charging, 16 supports wireless charging speeds up to 30 watts, whereas the 16e can be fast charged with a 20-watt charger. 16 gets MagSafe and Qi 2 fast wireless charging as well, whereas the wireless charging speeds on the 16e are capped in at 7.5 watts. And on top of that, it doesn't even get the MagSafe magnets in its back. This seems like a really odd thing to give up on. It is, however, not that big of an issue, since you can easily get a case with the MagSafe magnets built in, or if you want to use your phone without a case, then just get these rings and stick them to the back of your phone. Both of these are very inexpensive ways of adding MagSafe to the back of your iPhone. One of the things that you cannot add by yourself is the ultra-wideband chip, which is one of the other things that is missing on the iPhone 16e for some reason. What this chip does is help you precisely track the location of your AirTags or other things via the Find My network. And other major thing which you cannot add on the iPhone 16e is another camera on its back. iPhone 16 gets a 48 megapixel main camera and 12 megapixel ultra-wide-angle one. Combining the two, we get 0.5x, 1x and 2x lossless zoom-in options on this phone. The ultra-wide-angle lens gets autofocus, which means it will let you take macro shots, so the two cameras on the back of the iPhone 16 actually act like a quad camera setup. 16e on the other hand gets a single 48 megapixel camera at the back. That too not the same one as the iPhone 16. This one gets a much smaller 48 megapixel sensor, and it also gets the inferior optical image stabilization as opposed to the sensor shift stabilization which is found on the iPhone 16 and most of the other recent iPhones. It is funny how I and everyone else is calling the OIS on this phone inferior, when it is the same OIS that we get on flagship Android devices. Yes, even on the ones which cost 2 or 3 times as much as this phone. So how does the single camera on this new phone stack up against the ones on the iPhone 16? To clear this point, here are a few image and video samples which I took from both these phones. Honestly, in good lighting conditions, we can definitely not tell a difference between these two cameras. Well, there are some differences, like when you're taking close-up shots, there is more blur in the background from the iPhone 16, and in artificial or lower lighting conditions, 16e captures a bit more noise and it switches to the night mode a lot more often. But if you hold it steady enough, even these shots turned out to be pretty good. Videos in good light look almost identical from both, but when in lower light, we see a few more jitters in the iPhone 16e's videos, whereas the better OIS on the iPhone 16 makes sure that its video keeps on looking better. So overall, the iPhone 16 definitely has better camera and more of them, allowing you to take ultra-wide and macro shots when needed. But the 16e is not too bad considering it just gets a single camera. Now the 16e also gets photographic styles, but the basic ones like we got on the iPhone 14 and 15. It doesn't get the new photographic styles like on the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro, where you have a lot more of them and even have more granular control over each of these styles. 16e also can't take portrait shots unless it detects a face in the frame, and it also doesn't get the cinematic mode video shooting option. For a much deeper dive into the cameras and a lot more image and video samples, make sure to watch the camera comparison video which is coming out very soon. So just to recap, here are things which are similar on both the phones. Glass and aluminium build, matte finish back, 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display, 60Hz refresh rate, action button, USB Type-C port, A18 chip, at least the same generation of it, 8GB RAM, same storage options and a very similar performance. On top of this, iPhone 16 gets better protection for the front display, dynamic island, brighter display, 2 cameras at the back, better main camera with sensor shift image stabilization, slightly more powerful A18 chip, ultra-wideband chip, faster wired and wireless charging, MagSafe magnets, and Wi-Fi 7 support as opposed to Wi-Fi 6 on the iPhone 16e. The iPhone 16e just has 2 advantages over the iPhone 16. It comes with a lower price tag and it gets a much longer lasting battery. So these have been all of the differences and similarities between the iPhone 16 and 16e. Which one would you choose based on these things? I think if you're looking for a solid iPhone experience at an affordable price point, and if you're coming from something like any of the older iPhone SEs, iPhone 11 or any of the phones from before that, 16e is going to be a great option for you. However, if you want more modern looking phone with a dynamic island, potentially better graphic performance, better cameras and more of them, and if you are ready to spend a little extra, I think the iPhone 16 is well worth the extra investment. Keep in mind that this iPhone 16e's prices are going to drop in the next few months, and once they come down to 45 or 50,000 rupees price point, I think this is going to be a much better option to go with. What do you guys think? If you were trying to decide between these two phones, which one would you go with? Let me know in the comments. That is it for this video guys. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel for a lot more quality tech videos like this. You can also check out some of the other videos from this channel. This has been Sagar and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.